Welcome to I Have the Power, a He-Man vidcast. From the secrets within Castle Grayskull to the horrors atop Snake Mountain, we cover everything Masters of the Universe, including action figures, animation, live-action film, and comics, with your hosts, Adam and the Emerald Enthusiast.
Welcome to another episode of I Have the Power, a He-Man podcast. As always, I'm your host, Adam, and with me is my co-host, the Emerald Enthusiast, and the action figure enabler, Donnie. Donnie, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Masters of the Universe fans? It's the man whose ring runs on fanboy energy, the podcasting machine, the big nerd in green. It is the Emerald Enthusiast back with Adam, and we are the masters of the podcasting universe, here to talk to you about He-Man and everything connected to the Masters of the Universe.
Now, Donnie, well, that's a lot of universe. Universes, universe high. What is it? Universe.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, well, just the last podcast, we were trying to figure out what the plural of Lois was for, like Lois Lane. Yeah, so, yeah.
It's just, but, you know, since my name is actually Adam, right? So I'm Prince Adam, not in the pink shirt, not yet, you know. Yeah, you know, listen, if the red circumstance comes about, I'll pull off that outfit. I have to do some working out because I'm not quite in that shape yet, but, you know, but since my name is actually Adam, I think for the purposes of this podcast, I'll give you a choice. Who do you want to be referred to as? Do you want to be Man-at-Arms?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be Ram Man? Who do you?
Definitely not Ram Man, right?
Yeah. I don't want to call you Skeletor because that would be villainous. And, you know.
Well, you know,
Battle Cat. Yeah. Then I have to get on your back and you have to carry, you know, ride me, take me around places, and that's just weird. So, you have to paint yourself green and
orange, yeah, with the stripes, yeah. So.
I think Man-at-Arms. You got the beard. I think Man-at-Arms is a good.
Okay, okay, I could be Man or King Randor.
Well, you are old, yeah, but then do I have to call you Daddy? Because I don't know about that. Wait. If you're King Randor, does that mean I get a Christmas present every year? Because I can go for that.
Exactly. I'd have to buy you a figure. So
yeah, I could go for that. Well, okay, right. This is up for debate, but either one of those two. But while we're debating that, this is kind of an impromptu podcast that we were going to record a couple of weeks ago because they sprang some news on us one night when one afternoon we were recording.
Right.
And then we were going to record it last week, but then the scheduling issues came up, and so we didn't get a chance to record it. But we've got news, and it doesn't revolve around Masters of the Universe Revelation Season 2 yet, because we don't have details on that. That better listen, Netflix, come on.
Yeah. You
can't leave me on that cliffhanger. Right? Like we need a Season 2. Don't make me start hashtagging. I don't want to be that guy, but I'll do it.
Restore the Smithyverse.
Oh Christ! I might do that now. Don't make me listen. Netflix, don't make me resort to that. You know I don't like that kind of crowd. Don't make me resort to that. But I will. But while we wait for a potential, and to be fair, Kevin Smith says he hasn't heard anything yet either. Now, I'm taking that, Donnie, because I'm a positive guy, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think if they were going to cancel this thing, they would have done it already. Usually, Netflix, when they cancel stuff, is pretty quick to do that. They usually do that within the first month or two of something's release.
Right.
If they're going to do that. So, I think what they're waiting for is they're going to let the CGI version run its second half first, and then announce. That's what I'm thinking, personally. But Kevin Smith said he hasn't heard yet, so at least they haven't outright canceled it as of yet. So that's good. So I'm fairly confident with the toy sales and with the ratings of part 1. I think I'm hopeful that we'll see a season 2. But that's not,
obviously I want it. So
yeah, but that's not what this show is about. Before we get to the news, let's talk a little bit about figure collecting.
Yes.
Because I, up until this point, have been very prudent and true to my word. And currently, notice the verbiage I'm using. Currently, as of this recording, I only have 3 Masters of the Universe Revelation figures, which are He-Man, Skelegod, Skeletor, and Granger / Battlecat. But you see, I have a co-host who likes to record reviews of figures that he buys, and he's bought a plethora of Masters of the Universe Revelation figures that now I broke my rule. Unlike Batman and his no killing rule in the comics, I broke my only 3 figures rule because I ordered Evelyn, and she should be here by the 17th of February. So she may already be here by the time you're listening to this, depending on when you're listening to this. We've now heard that they are releasing in March another Tila figure, but they're doing the one of her appearance early on in the series, where she was the classic looking Tila. So I'm gonna want to get that because I saw the preview art or the preview image of the figure, and it's a beauty, as are every other one of this line. And they're also in March releasing King Randor, who looks absolutely badass.
Gotta have it.
and Donnie recently did a review of Scareglow, and I could get that on Big Bad Toys because that hasn't released there yet. So, right, there he is. Now you're taunting me with it, like
if you're listening to this, if you're listening on
with the urn to the Undertaker, that's what you're doing right now.
Oh yes.
Oh God.
If you're listening on Podbean, let me strongly encourage you to come to YouTube so you can actually see some of the things that we're going to show you today.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So, Donnie, I know you like to blame me.
I do.
for this particular line, even though I had the emphasis on had the self-control of only getting 3 figures. But you've gone the extra mile, so give us a little preview. Show us what you.
Let me give the people a little backstory here. I actually bought some of the original He-Man line, the Masters of the Universe line, in 1982. I remember the first wave. As soon as I saw those, I was absolutely enamored with that whole wave. And go ahead.
How old were you when those figures came out?
8 or 9. Okay. Yeah. And I saw them, and I had, I don't know, maybe 50 of them by the time that I eventually sold them. I sold them before I went to college. And that's one of the childhood possessions that I always kind of wanted back. I remember when the Masters of the Universe Classics line came out, I thought about collecting that, but they were really expensive. I didn't want to pay like 50, 60, 70 bucks a figure. But I always had that itch of, man, I wish that they had an affordable Masters of the Universe line out. And when I heard about Masters of the Universe Revelation, and I saw the additional articulation, the additional attention to detail, the scale of the figures, it was not a difficult thing to get me to buy a couple. The problem is, once I started, I couldn't stop. And Adam was like, "Oh, you've got to get at least He-Man and Skeletor." And I think
Cringer, yeah.
And Battlecat, and I think that was 17 figures ago.
Yeah, notice how only said 3.
So, okay, well, let's get, in addition to Scareglow, of course, got He-Man. My first purchase was Skelegod. This is He-Man. I like it. Other than, and this is available. You can get, you can find me on YouTube. That's the Emerald Enthusiast, and I have a review of He-Man up.
Definitely check out his reviews. Yeah.
And these are some that I'm going to review in the future, but I don't have out of the package yet. So, Fisto, love it.
I'll never forget his classic line in the show. I like the fist.
Like the fist. I was like, eh. I think that was Kevin Smith amusing himself.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think this is my favorite 2-pack so far. There's a couple of, this is the Savage, He-Man, and Orko. So this is kind of 2 figures. And this was only $29.99. It wasn't that bad a price. Lots of accessories. And you get great art on the back of these.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Beauty.
Yeah. We also have Moss Man. I got this on a discount.
Oh, nice.
It was like right before Christmas. They had like a 50% off sale, and I got him.
He looks great.
Yep. Faker, who actually looks like He-Man, and you got the additional heads here.
So you could actually make him He-Man.
Yes. So you have the He-Man head, and then you've got the robotic head.
Right.
This is the first one that I got, Skelegod.
So now you haven't taken Skelegod out of the box?
Not yet. I'm only going to do each one when I'm ready to actually do a review.
Okay.
When I do a review, because I want to like review the packaging first for people.
Right, but then, as you do on your show. But then, do you put them back? Are you going to put them back in the box?
No. I may buy like 1 or 2 to keep in the box, but the problem is. No space. I do not have space.
Once they're out of the box,
the box gets thrown away. Or I try to recycle the cardboard. So
I could make an innuendo, but I won't.
Tila.
Yeah, there she is.
Yep.
That's my girl, Sarah Michelle Gelman, right there.
It looks really nice. Great artwork on the back.
What a badass! I love it. I could hear. You know, my favorite part, selfishly. My favorite part of the series was the end when she said, you're Prince Adam and you're my hero. I'm like, I was wanting to hear that. And I'm like, she's not actually talking about me, goddamn.
But you can pretend, right?
Well, absolutely. Close my eyes and just pretend she was right there with me.
If you're going to dream big.
That's what I
Spike Ore.
Solutions. Yeah, look at that.
Spike Ore.
So awesome. I love the size of these figures.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I love the scale. Yeah. So this is an interesting one. This is the only one that I've seen, and I found it hidden underneath a bunch of other figures in a different place than it was supposed to be. So somebody was trying to hide this. It's Beastman.
Oh, you screwed them over.
Yep.
When they went back, they're like, hey, where's my Beastman?
Yeah. So, yeah.
When you do the review, you can be like, here it is.
Here it is.
Why'd you call that person out on your YouTube videos instead of attacking me all the time?
You got the regular Skeletor.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Man-at-Arms. This was also, I've only seen 2 of these so far. I bought one of
them. He'd be a good Man-at-Arms. Look at that. Yeah. He was really, in the series, I liken him to like old man Batman coming out of retirement. And
that's a good comparison. And I have Andra somewhere else. And if I can't find her in here, I know I put a video of me on TikTok holding the Andra figure because I got her.
I got to get her.
Yeah, just about last week.
Donnie, that's one. If you go hunting, if you see her.
Oh, yeah. If I see another one, sure.
If you see her, grab her for me, and I'll send you the.
Will do.
And I don't do anything inappropriate.
Right. Stay right here.
I'm not going anywhere. I can't leave. I'm the host.
Well, you're about to watch the star fall out of his chair.
I said
I got this last week. This has nothing to do with Masters of the Universe, but I got this when I got the Andra figure. Found this too. Miles Morales. Anyway.
That's awesome, yeah.
I just found her.
Love Miles.
There we go.
And voiced by Tiffany Smith, who I think is fantastic. I'll tell you why. She's a big comic book fan, Tiffany Smith is, and I dig that about her. And listen. I don't know. She's probably not watching this show. She's probably never seen it. But what's it gonna? How much do Donnie and I have to beg to get an interview with Tiffany Smith on this show?
I'd be down for anybody on this voice cast, but yes, definitely her.
Tweet me, Tiffany, and I'll do it as long as it's not, ridiculously demeaning. But
Right.
How much begging do I have to do? It'd be great. Yeah. There's the toy version of me, ladies and gentlemen, right there. There he is, yeah. And I have that. That's the one I have. That's the He-Man I have.
Yeah, that's the basic He-Man.
Now mine. See, my dilemma, Donnie, is, and again, I know you said you counseled me on this on Twitter, but your answer is not tenable because again, I have space issues like you. But now my dilemma is, do I open up? Stop that. Let's make you want to buy it. My dilemma is, do I take them out of the box? And don't tell me again, well, just buy another one in box, because then I have to buy 3 more. And, that's ridiculous. I can't do that. But so do they stand, like if you stand them, do they stand there?
That's something. He-Man is standing right now. That's something that I always point out on my YouTube reviews is how sturdy is a figure. How well does it stand?
Because they don't have a stand and a peg, right?
No, there's no. They do have peg holes. So like if you get like a basic NECA stand or something, it would probably work.
Yeah.
Can't really see Scareglow from over here.
All right, he's standing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so if you had to, now I want your gut reaction, quick answer. None of this. Buy another set. Box or unbox? What do you say? Should I take them out? Should I let them breathe, Donnie?
That's what I always say. Time to let them breathe.
Yeah.
This is my answer. If you and this is my answer to like everybody who collects. If you ever plan on selling them or trading them, you might want to leave them in the box.
Yeah,
if it's something you're going to keep for the rest of your life, let them breathe.
I'm going to keep them for the rest of my life.
Then let them breathe.
Because I'll tell you guys a story. I used to have, I'm not going to say all of them, but I had a bunch, like a lot. Like I had Castle Grayskull.
Likewise.
I had He-Man, Skeletor, Tila, Evelyn, you name it, I had it, just about. And then, like with most of my toys, one fateful day I came downstairs early, let's say a Saturday morning, because I don't remember when, and most of my toys were gone. Where they went, I didn't know. But my mom gave them away to charity. No, look, I'm all for giving to charity, giving to kids less fortunate than I was. All I wanted was to be consulted. Mm-hmm. And they could have said, listen, you can keep 5 and give away the rest. And I would have made the choice. I wanted to be afforded the choice. I wasn't. I'm clearly still traumatized by the purging of all my toys when I was a kid. And this extends beyond He-Man. I just want to point out. This includes the Ninja Turtles. This includes Batman. I had all the figures from '89 in returns, Donnie. You know how much that crap is worth now? Not that I would have ever sold it.
Right. Well,
but every once in a while, I like to call my mother in and say, "See that price? I had that.
I had
the box, and even not in box, it's still worth a lot. And mine were in good condition because I played with them very carefully.
Yeah,
I took good care of my toys."
And aside, you mentioned, well, go ahead, and I want to mention something.
Now, I want to know, Donnie, and if I could ever track down the person who has my toy, did they take care of my toys? Because I don't think they did. I'm willing to bet there were broken legs, broken arms. very upset, very traumatized by this. You know what I need? I need Dr. Harleen Quinzel in the form of Margot Robbie to come and counsel me, damn it.
Console you, yes.
Help fix me. Oh, whatever the case may be. But what were you going to say?
I recently watched the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie with my youngest child. And yeah, we were talking about the comics because I had some of the comics, the original comics, but not the first one. The first print of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, they only printed about 3,000. That is extremely paltry. And I looked up some of the values of that now. And I found a graded one that was going for $32,000 online.
God. You know how many pizzas you can buy with $32,000?
I wish I could go back. Like if I had a wormhole, I'd go back and tell my 11-year-old self or 10, whatever I was, and say, look, you go buy those, you put them in a closet and don't touch them.
Yeah. Go buy them and give it to me. I'll wait here.
Exactly.
I'll take them back with me.
Oh, what was that movie?
Buy 5 copies. You can keep one, and I'm taking the rest.
Yeah, or like, hey, put these somewhere where, like, where I can find them. There was a movie about that where a guy was like talking through a sunspot to his dad or something like that 30 years in the future. And so, like, I could tell myself, hey, just go put them like underneath the floorboard, put them in Mylar, and then I'll find them 30 years from now.
Yeah, but between the time when you tell yourself that and if your mom finds them first, you're screwed.
That's why I said put them under the floorboard.
That's right. She wouldn't know. That's right. Yeah. See, you're at least polite to your younger self. If I went back in time, I'd steal my younger self's toys and be like, and look, I know how to create a paradox, but he's going to lose those toys anyway because mom's going to give them away. So better me take him than some stranger.
Right. But no, I did. I remember the yard sale where I decided to put them in, and it wasn't long before I regretted it. So,
what was it? Like 5 minutes later?
It wasn't that, but I do remember like basically settling down after college and thinking, man, I really wish I had those figures back.
Yeah, your wife would have appreciated it too because you wouldn't have to buy all the new ones.
But I had to say that's what I've liked about this. They're only $20 a piece. It's not like breaking the bank. So. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm now. So I influenced you to start. I corrupted you to start. Again, just for disclaimer purposes, I said buy 3, not 14 additional ones.
17's the number right now.
I know that I want it on record. I said 3, and so I influenced him, and now he's re-influenced me to buy more than I anticipated. So, look, if you want to have any semblance of self-control, don't come to either one of us. We can't help you.
I have self-control over a lot of things, but when it comes to something I really like, ooh.
Yeah, see, what this has proven to me is that I would fail as a Green Lantern. Now, so we've talked a little bit about the toys. I've talked about some of the ones that I will get. Mine are still in the box. They're on a shelf that I can't reach right now. When I unbox them, maybe I'll do a video and blame Donnie some more. But until such time, yeah. No, go ahead.
One more interesting point. I actually rewatched this week The Toys That Made Us, the episode about the creation of Masters of the Universe.
I did too. It's great.
One detail that I missed, one of the creators in there, and I can't remember what the guy's name was, he talked about a fun house that he went to as a kid where he was scared. Yeah. Okay, that is a true story. You can look this up. The man's name was Elmer Mccurdy, who was an outlaw whose body basically went unclaimed for decades, and people thought it was a dummy, and it ended up in a fun house. People thought it was a prop, and it wasn't. It was an actual human body. And that's what he saw that scared him, and that got seared into his imagination. And when he was envisioning a villain for He-Man, that came back to him of that kind of skeletal face. And that's what inspired the look for Skeletor.
See, childhood drama can lead to some really fascinating. It can lead to a global phenomenon in terms of Skeletor. Right?
Yeah. When Elmer Mccurdy was, was shooting it out with sheriffs and robbing banks or whatever else he did back in the 1800s. He had no idea the influence he would have on pop culture.
Has any of his descendants come out of the woodwork wanting a residual checks for Skeletor yet?
I don't know. I do know that his body made its way into a movie as a prop. A couple of movies, actually, yeah.
Did they know it was his body, or
no? That's the thing. It wasn't until one of the arms fell off, in the fun house, yeah, and somebody saw it, and oh, there's a human bone in that. So, yeah, look it up. The name is Elmer Mccurdy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insanity. So we've talked a little bit about our
you had no idea we were going to go this direction.
No, I didn't. Next week on True Crime, no, I'm kidding. But next week on Unsolved Mysteries, no. But that's not this podcast. But we've talked about we talk about the show on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us. I'm gonna call this episode "The Toys That Broke Our Wallets." Anyway. So we talked a little bit about the toys, and I said we do have some He-Man and the Masters of the Universe news. And like I said, it was about 2 weeks ago that this news dropped on us. Now, Donnie, remember a while back, you and I have talked about the Masters of the Universe on several occasions.
Oh, sure.
And I had said, and not about blaming each other about toy purchases, but just in general. And I had suggested to both you and Chris and others that I believed that with Netflix putting so much, money and focus into Masters of the Universe on the animated side, I had thought to myself that I think it's highly possible that Netflix is going to take the property from Sony and eventually develop the live-action movie. Because remember, it was at Sony, and they had cast Noah Centineo, who is now subsequently playing Atom Smasher in Black Adam.
Right.
So he left the project. But they had cast him, and they were going to do it, and then the pandemic and all kinds of other problems hit. And so I had speculated that with Netflix, somebody over there in Netflix is one of us and really loves the Masters of the Universe. So I thought it was highly possible that they would take control of the live-action movie and develop it. And I if you remember, I had said this to you. Basically, just you remember me saying I'm not, pulling that out of thin air. We talked about this, right? Remember?
Yes.
So I can officially do the Mr. Perfect and pat myself on the back.
Right.
Because I was right. It was revealed that Netflix indeed is developing the Masters of the Universe live-action movie with Mattel. Yeah. Now, here's what we know. It's being made in conjunction with Mattel because they've branched out into their own studio now to develop some of their properties into film and television. So they mentioned, by the way, I'm getting this information was all over the place in terms of the trades. I'm not getting this off of some message board of a site that nobody heard of.
Right.
I'm taking the direct quotes from Deadline. Which is
we make a point not to spread rumors because there are everybody looking for clout on the internet, and yeah.
So basically, Deadline mentions that it was once at Sony, but has now been assumed, like it's been taken over by Netflix. And so it's moving over to Netflix, and they're going to start filming in the summer. In either June or July. I think it's July, so that'll be a nice birthday present to me.
Yeah.
Thank you. See, I knew Netflix was cooking something for me.
Do you smell what Netflix is cooking?
By the way, Netflix, that doesn't preclude my potential suing you. I'm kidding. But potential suing you from taking the name of my movie that I'm making about the creation of my multiverse wives list. You stole the name. And some other movie with Ryan Reynolds, you called it the Adam Project. That was the name of my movie. You stole it, but I'll forgive you as long as you make this movie and it all comes out good. But anyway, so Netflix, they're taking over control. They're going to start filming this summer. So when it was still at Sony, the brother directing team of Adam and Aaron Nee we're gonna direct, and they're still gonna direct. They're still on board to direct. They have another movie coming out at the end of March called The Lost City. It's got Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum in it. I think Channing Tatum. I know Sandra Bullock is in it, but maybe Channing Tatum. Anyway, so they're gonna direct. They co-wrote the screenplay with David Callahan, and he's familiar to us in the nerd realm because he wrote Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings.
Good film.
And Wonder Woman 1984.
Also like that one.
So I think we're in good shape in terms of the writing. So here's the kind of log line that they gave for the film. And already part of the log line has caused some contention online, Donnie, because God forbid anybody just wait and see. But
Oh yeah, no.
But
you have to melt down over everything, yeah.
Right. Here's the log line, and then we'll talk about it. It says, in Masters of the Universe, an orphan named Adam discovers he is a prince destined to be the savior of a faraway land and must quickly learn of his power and the importance of saving his true home from an evil force. Does that alarm you in any way?
No.
Okay. The part that is alarming some people is the fact that Adam is an orphan.
Let's remember that Prince Adam is a later addition. In the original incarnation, in the little comics that came with the figures, He-Man was just a barbarian from a tribe. There was no Prince Adam.
Right.
So you can change things, and sometimes that works.
Right. And the other bonus, because the faraway Eternia, right, is the faraway land, right? Assuming. So now people are taking that as the whole movie is going to be set in New York or wherever. It's like, how do you know that? Based on a 2-sentence log line. And by the way, Donnie, I'll just have you in terms of the orphan comment or piece of information. I don't know if you've watched the CGI one yet. Mm-hmm. Have you watched it yet?
Oh no, I do mean to. I do intend to do
it's
so.
It's really
no,
good. When you watch it, we'll review it. But when you watch it,
yeah.
I liked it.
I'm not getting the figures. Not.
No, me neither. No. I'm saying review it on the show, Donnie. Review the show on the podcast. That's what I'm saying.
Until I see a bunch of them on clearance, and then I'm like,
But so in that show, spoiler, Adam is raised kind of by Cringer in a forested area, farther away, not super far away, but farther away from Eternia. And he is unaware that he is the Prince of Eternia. So could they be borrowing elements of that and infusing it in? Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be raised by Cringer in the movie. I mean, I'd be fine with it. But again, just because he's an orphan doesn't mean that Randor and his mother don't exist. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that they're dead.
Well, remember with Adora was stolen.
Yeah. So
why can't Adam be stolen and not be aware of his parents too?
Right, exactly. And again, even if it is on Earth, I don't think that they'd make the same mistake again of setting the whole thing on Earth. And
you think we'll get Courtney Cox to come back?
Well, listen, in a world where Michael Keaton can come back, why the hell not? No, but in all seriousness, though, like I follow the directors on Instagram, and they seem like you know they are fans of the property. I think they're going to give us Eternia. I think they're going to give us Cringer, and I think we all just gotta relax. It's a log line. Can we wait for more details?
I listened to people for like 5 years say there's no way without Spider-Man that anybody's going to be interested in a Venom movie. Wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And so now, not only do we have directors, we have a start date, and we have Netflix being the studio, we also have a star. Because West Side Story actor Kyle Allen is going to play Prince Adam and presumably He-Man. Now, he's got the jawline for it.
Yep.
Albeit in some pictures he's kind of skinny. But again, for people freaking out, there's this little thing that exists around the world, Don. It's called the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to these gyms, if you lift these things called weights and you do certain repetitions and certain movements and exercises, you can build these things called muscles, which is what he has. So I'm not worried that the guy is somewhat skinny at this point in time, or some of the pictures of him online show. But I wanted to get your opinion on, because I have a couple of theories. Now, they could do what I suggest, what I think is plausible, which is hook this guy up with a personal trainer, get him to the gym between now and July, and see how much muscle he can put on. That's one option.
Okay.
Option number two is, what if they in fact do get a different actor to play He-Man?
I guess that's possible. I don't know. I feel like it's unlikely. I think people would feel like they'd want Adam and He-Man to be the same person, but it's possible, I guess.
Or third, Donnie, here's the third option.
Okay.
They accentuate his build and body via CGI.
Could be.
Enhancement. So kind of like a reverse Captain America situation.
Sure.
Because remember when they made Chris Evans, not the guest host that we had on our Moon Knight episode, but the actor that played Captain America. Remember they made him Skinny Steve?
Oh, right. Yeah. Because he was, 95 pounds or whatever.
Yeah. And they did it with CGI?
Yeah.
What if they do the reverse?
They very well could.
So,
and by the way, I saw him in the episodes of American Horror Story. He is a guy who, he has a good base. I think he definitely could get bigger in a year's time or 6 months, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think he actually, people have said that he's gotten bigger in the last year. So.
And do you think, I would think that there's got to be a limit, if they're going to use the same guy and not accentuate with CGI, which they still may do. But there's got to be a limit to the size that they're going to make him get, because you want a little bit of believability between, I'm Prince Adam in a pink shirt, but I'm the exact same size and the exact same hairstyle as He-Man.
Right.
Look, I get it. The 80s cartoon had limitations. They were trying to save money. The same anime, the whole 9 yards. So naturally, Prince Adam and He-Man looked exactly the same.
Same, yeah.
Right? I would think nowadays they'd want there to be a little bit more differentiation.
your point remains is that you put Brock Lesnar in a pink vest, he's still gonna look like
Brock
Brock Lesnar.
It's still Brock Lesnar, right? So I even think there would be a limit to how big they let him get. Like maybe they let him accentuate it so that then it'd be easier to tweak with CGI, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But again, like this overwhelming need to panic. Like, guys, we've seen this so many times before, where you criticize that guy's build, and you criticize this and that, and then the movie comes on and it's like, oh my God, wow, I buy it. So my caution is to let's relax. Let's just see when July comes around and they start filming. And what we might hear between now and July in terms of, are they casting a different person for He-Man? Like, let's see some current pictures of this guy to see, has he put on any more muscle? Is he, So that's my caution. Now, Donnie, you say you've seen him in American Horror Story. How is he as an actor?
I went back and watched just a few minutes because the season that I saw him was from 4 years ago, was Apocalypse. And I remember him being, for what I saw, a good actor, not an overly small guy. I mean, we're not talking, Topher Grace here. This is somebody that I think has the potential to put muscle on.
Mention that.
You better believe it. Now until the end of time, I'm still upset.
But I don't know if the size was a contention for you, more so than the portrayal, right?
Well, it was all of it. I mean, yeah.
Fair enough.
That's a different podcast, though. So
yeah, of course. So he was a solid actor, you say?
From what I saw, and it wasn't a huge role at least from the episodes that I remember. And I went back and just watched a few minutes. But I think he's a young guy. He's like 27. He definitely has the jawline, the He-Man looks, and I think a good voice for He-Man. So yeah.
Now, Donnie, it's funny because when I first saw one of the pictures, like there's a picture of him with shorter hair and where the chin is very, very, like the jaw is pronounced, which you see. And there's another picture of him where he's got longer hair, and I'm like, kind of looks like Jungle Boy.
Right, that's a good point. He does a little bit, yeah.
But like for me, when I look at his casting, here's my take on it. Well, Steven Spielberg cast him in West Side Story, and I don't know about you, but I think that Steven Spielberg guy knows a little bit. I think about just a smidge about talent, right? So. Like if other people are going to cast him, I think I'll defer to their judgment.
I agree. You bring up an interesting point there. They should have gone to AEW because they could have hired Jurassic Express. You get Jungle Boy to play Prince Adam and Luchasaurus to play He-Man.
And listen,
there you go.
I don't know about you. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen that short film Fall of Grayskull?
Mm-mm. Oh, yes. No, yeah. No, that was on Netflix too, wasn't it?
No, it was on YouTube. We had the director. Remember, we had the.
Oh, yeah, right.
I guess we had that one of the actors that played Tila.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Cage played He-Man. Like they had two different people. They had a young kid as Adam, and Brian Cage as He-Man.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's in Revelation too. There's a huge difference between Adam and He-Man.
Yeah, where it's believable that.
Yes. Yeah.
He's two different people.
Yeah.
Right. So, again, I'm just excited that we've gotten to a place where this thing finally seems to be moving forward. And I think it will. I think it will with Netflix. I get the sense that Netflix is really high on the Masters of the Universe IP in general. Mm-hmm. And now that they've got this live action thing, like we've gotten to a point where
you pee in general where
IP.
Sorry. Dad joke. Sorry.
I pee where everybody else pees in the toilet, damn it. Unless when I was a baby, and then it was the diapers. But
Right.
why are we talking about when I was a baby peeing in diapers on the He-Man podcast? Damn it! Well, you got to take it down the wrong path. You've really brought this podcast down to the toilet, Donnie. No, but in all seriousness, like I really think, unlike the time when it was at Sony, I think we're in a good shape here, and I think it's going to happen this time because I think Netflix really values the property.
I think they realize there's still a lot of interest in the Masters of the Universe. There are a lot of fans out there, like myself, middle-aged people, but there are also kids who've read the comics and who've watched the stories, the reruns. There are fans out there. I think it's going to be a success.
And I know there are some that are worried about, well, it's Netflix, and does Netflix have the budget? I think one of the things I'm not worried about is the budget, because I'll tell you why. Now, you can say what you want about the movie itself, but remember that David Ayer movie with Will Smith? No, not Suicide Squad. The one that he did for Netflix. I can't remember what it was called. But Will Smith was a cop, and he had an orc partner.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, how great that looked, and that was on Netflix. That was, like 3 or 4 years ago? Yeah.
Visually, it looked great. Now, whatever you think of the movie is a different story, but the visuals look really well put together. Also, let's not forget that
Bright is the name of that movie. Yeah.
Also, let's not forget that Netflix also did the Six Underground, the Michael Bay film. Again, whatever you think about the quality of the film, the budget was like the film looked top tier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't look like it suffered from being on a streaming service. And the same with the Rock's movie, Red Notice. I mean, they put some money behind that, and you could see it on screen. So,
and we're going to see more of that, like, streaming-centric movies. They're not going to cut corners.
Yeah, and like the one that Netflix stole the title, the Adam Project. I watched the trailer. You can see that they put some money behind. There's some CGI and visuals. So I'm not. The budget is not what I'm concerned about. I'm very pleased that they kept the directors, because it means that they like what those guys, the vision that those guys had for it, or have for it. So I'm excited. I'm glad that I never I was becoming doubtful when it came to Masters of the Universe in terms of live action, because of all the false starts we've had. But I think what I've seen from Netflix with Revelation and with the CGI He-Man and the Masters of the Universe show, I think they're a really good home for this franchise. And there are people in charge that care, and that's what I'm excited about. And so I'm excited to see who we hear about next in terms of casting.
I've been waiting since 1987 for a sequel. And
me too.
This isn't a sequel, but it's another live action movie. And I'm like, you know what? I waited this long. Let's see what happens.
Now, Donnie, let me ask you.
Yes.
Would you go the nostalgia casting route and get Dolph Lundgren as King Randor?
That's a good question. There's kind of a negative association with that movie, but at the same time, when you watch him in Aquaman, the guy has skills. Yeah. So it wouldn't bother me at all if they go out and get him as King Randor.
Now, I'm going to float something out of you that I just thought of this morning when we were prepping for the show.
Okay.
Not that I do a whole lot of prepping, but here we are.
Got it.
I like to overinflate my prepping for these shows. But yeah, I was doing some prepping. And so I was thinking, the Nee brothers, or the directors, have produced, the directors of the upcoming movie with Sandra Bullock. Do they snag Sandra Bullock for a role? Maybe. Now, I've got a couple of options. Do they cast her maybe as He-Man's mother? Or or do they get her for
The Sorceress?
Sorceress?
Good. Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean, Courtney Cox could even play the Sorceress or He-Man's mother. So,
my question to you is if they get Margot Robbie to play Teela.
Oh, Christ almighty. Listen, Donnie, I mean, like, my mind is going to explode. Like, if Margot Robbie shows up as Tina, listen, and I know there's some rights issues, whatever, but if they ever got Margot Robbie as She-Ra, like, I think Margot Robbie would become the queen of the multiverse wives. Like, I mean, at that point, if she's playing one of these characters, either Teela or She-Ra, I mean, she would have to take that position.
Oh yeah, that's an iconic character in pop culture. Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, who do you get? I mean, we're talking about legacy casting for certain, like Randor or this and that, but it's going to be really. I'm really intrigued by who do they get to play Skeletor? Who do they get to play Teela?
It's a good question.
Teela's got to be closer in age to Prince Adam, right? So you're looking at somebody in that ballpark to play him, right?
Right.
To play her, I should say. But Skeletor, I mean, that's going to be an interesting casting, right? So all of these this is the great time, this is I think this is one of the fun parts of the filmmaking process, is that, like, to see who gets cast in what role. This is the fun stuff. Instead, fans are making, oh my God, is it going to be on Earth? Is it going to be who? Is it going to be, relax.
Yeah. I would say I would love for Skeletor if I was pulling, the strings here.
Yeah. Who would you
I would have an actor play Skeletor, and I would have Alan Oppenheimer do the voice.
Oh.
Kind of the way like with Darth Vader. But they'd have to get on the ball because Alan Oppenheimer is 91. So I hope he's still in good health.
Or Frank Langella, even.
Oh, sure. But I would love to hear the Skeletor voice from the original series coming out of a live-action Skeletor.
Now, Donnie, would you be opposed to because Lena Headey did the voice of Evelyn in the Revelation series. Would you be opposed to seeing her in live action?
Not at all. Yeah,
because I think that's.
I've always liked her. Yeah. I was a big fan of the old Sarah Connor Chronicles TV show.
I love that show, and I'm still pissed. I'm still pissed.
Likewise. That's right.
Damn it, Fox! I'm mad at you, and I'm mad at Netflix because they stole the name of my biopic. Anyway, I'll forgive Netflix if they do the He-Man thing properly, but Fox, you're on thin ice because you canceled Firefly, you canceled the Sarah Connor Chronicles. There's no turning back for you, Fox. And now you're bringing back Brock Lesnar on to take the title. You're bringing Goldberg. Fox, you're not on good terms. I'll tell you that. Anyway, but
I'll tell you what though, when She-Ra shows up in live action, one of my favorite lines from Masters of the Universe. I would love to hear Skeletor. No, a female He-Man. This is the worst day of my life.
That's a good imitation. But it's so funny, Donnie, because Amazon Prime is developing a live-action She-Ra show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just amazing how the same property or the same universe is split because of rights issues, and She-Ra's over here on Amazon, or potentially.
Yeah.
He-Man's over here on Netflix, but Netflix somehow has the animated She-Ra. So how does that all work? I'm confused.
I don't know. Let's all come together like Sony and Marvel Studios and give the fans what they want. It works.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
He-Man, No Way Home.
Don't do that, because then the fans are really going to be upset. If he can't get back to Eternia, imagine how upset the fans will be.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I can't wait for this. We'll be covering, the casting process and every step of the way. So stay tuned for that. But I'm excited. And I can't wait to see how it develops. And we'll, of course, keep you informed. But if the audience wants to talk about more He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, more collecting, or their casting wish list with either of us, they can on social media. So, Donnie, where do they find you?
You can find me on Twitter as the Emerald Enthusiast. Let's talk Masters of the Universe. Let's talk comics. Let's talk collectibles. Let's talk Green Lantern.
All right, and if you want to talk with me, it's at Adam_LeafsFan on Twitter. With the Twitter account for the podcast network is at MMNPDC. We also have a Facebook group, which is listed in the description below. Click that, I will add you, and we can continue the conversation there. But until next time, remember that He-Man and the Masters of the Universe are forever. From the first time Prince Adam says, I have the power, to the last. So long, everybody, and good
So long, everyone. Dun, 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 dun.